Minister of Justice and Correctional Services Ronald Lamola has delivered a keynote address at the maiden launch of the South African chapter of Partners Against Piracy. And that initiative is made up of key stakeholders with the aim of making a positive socio-economic contribution to conversations affecting the creative sector. As Mbali Thethani is about to report, she's standing by to speak with Minister Lamola. It's over to you, Mbali.
Certainly, Dudu. Of course, we have seen the Correctional Services Minister, Ronald Lamola, delivering an address here at the Partners Against Piracy. And of course, this is piracy within the creative sector. I'm just going to get straight into the interview. Now, Minister, one would say that this is really a much-needed initiative, especially to protect intellectual property of South Africans.
Yes, it is a very important initiative, and it's also encouraging that it's the stakeholders themselves that have started the initiative, and they are working together to build that coalition that will protect the intellectual property in our country. And I think it will go a long way, particularly for our economy, because this kind of theft transcend various jurisdictions. Hence, it also needs multi-stakeholder kind of approach, which includes government, includes law enforcement, but it also needs awareness amongst members of the communities, because they are the ones who buy these products and counterfeit goods.
Minister, on to other issues as well. Just on Human Rights Day, we saw EFF leader Julius Malema slamming the country's judiciary and saying that it is captured. What is your reaction to such remarks, especially made by somebody who sits on the JSC?
It is a very unfortunate comment to cast aspersions on the judiciary without facts and substantiation, because there are channels established for such kind of complaints, where such can be launched and where it could be ventilated, properly investigated and dealt with, particularly if there is evidence. But just to cast general aspersions, it affects and lowers the credibility of the judiciary in the eyes of the public. And you cannot afford to have the custodian of the Constitution being denigrated in such a manner, in a manner that will affect the operations of the rule of law, because judges express and enforce their opinions through judgments and through court decisions, which they don't have power to enforce. But it must be the political will of the South African public that then respect those kind of judgments and respect the court orders and decisions. And if they are denigrated, that respect may be affected.
We've also heard him further saying that, it is the courts such as the North Gauteng High Court that continues to rule in the favor of President Cyril Ramaphosa. Does the North Gauteng High Court, is the North Gauteng High Court biased when it comes to the president and his court matters?
No, there is no biasness at all. I mean, all the issues that he is referring to, for example, have been confirmed by the Supreme Court of Appeal and the Constitutional Court, which shows that whatever ruling that will have come through, that North Gauteng High Court, was based on the facts. It was also based on the correct applications of the principles of the law. So if the correct principles of the law have been applied, and there is a concurrence from the Supreme Court of Appeal, from the Court, even some of the academics agreeing that this is the correct application of the law, why will you then want to argue that there is biasness? So it's baseless, is devoid of any facts, neither is it is also devoid of any law. It's just conspiratorial.
When it comes to such a rhetoric, especially in a country like ours, where even, in recent years, the judiciary has come under scrutiny, it does, one would say, when it comes to the public confidence, the public will then continue to criticize the judiciary. Do you have any concerns in that matter?
Yeah, there is no country that was built on rhetoric and conspiracies. All countries have been built on a basis of scientific evidence. And that is the only way we can build our country, either for the judiciary, in the economy, or for whatever decision. So if we need to make decisions as a country, we must base them on facts, we must base it on science, It must also be based on clear evidence. And with regards to the law, it must also be based on the law. So there is no country in the world where courts are run by conspiracies and also rhetoric. The facts and the law guides any court. And we always say that the courts must be guided by that, and there must not be any bias, there must not be prejudice, there must not be any favor. Even for the president or for myself, some of these courts sometimes rule against us and criticize us heavily in some of the matters that goes before this court. So the court must be an impartial platform where all of us must have confidence that our matters will be heard objectively.